Okay, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Here is my observation of the YouTuber, the Real Music Observer. Let's just see how harmless Dave really is. Otherwise, I call him Spew-Rhea, diarrhea of the mouth, plain and simple. Let's see what Spew-Rhea claims. Well, we know Spew-Rhea gets most of his information from sites on the internet, just from browsing. You go to Google, and you can find probably 95% of the same crap he does. You can go to a lot of different sites off of Google, and you and I can do it just as well as he can. I would much rather read the article from Rolling Stone magazine myself than hear him babble about it for a few minutes or whatever, however long he's got to babble about it to get his point across, when they can do it and you can read their straight to the point stuff too. He claims to know people in the music industry. Maybe he does, maybe he doesn't. Don't know, don't really care. Probably most of the information you're going to get from people in the music industry is stuff that other people normally wouldn't be able to hear anyway. You know, when you have a music contract with somebody and they're putting an album together, most oftentimes, unless the artists themselves tell you that they're doing stuff, for example, like Steve Perry, which, yes, I am a fan of Steve Perry, but we're just using him for an example at the moment. Steve Perry told us he had an album coming out. We didn't need the record company to tell us that. He told us himself. The record company isn't going to know entirely how Steve's going to operate, or any other artist for that matter. So what they do know isn't going to be what the artist has in mind, typically. Another thing, he claims to understand the music business because of his former skills as a DJ, if you want to call it that. I do not personally have any DJ skills. I've never done it before. However, like most other people, I have heard people do a whole heck of a lot better than what he's done. Maybe he understands what happened in the music industry 20, 30 years ago because of his skills. Maybe he knows that. Whatever. Today it's definitely clear that he's, speculates a lot, but doesn't know a lot. So I take that with a grain of salt, just like everything else. And again, I'll use the example of Steve Perry. Like I say, just an example. I love Steve Perry's music. Not going to say anything negative against him. Spew-Rhea has made a couple claims that, with different people that, I would have done things differently if I were managing. Good for you. Whatever. However, you're not managing, are you? You probably never will you? He's driven that point home a couple of times. Don't know what he has to gain from saying that. I have yet to hear that anybody has listed him as their manager. Judging by the content of his videos, I doubt that I would subject myself to his management, or anyone else would subject themselves to his management. Next point is the critiquing. Let's just get straight to the point on this one. he has a lot of critiquing on a lot of artists. Oh, why did they do it this way? Why didn't they do it that way? They could have been done better if they did it this way, could have done better if they did it that way. I remember when he sort of reviewed, if you want to call it that, Steve Perry's Traces album. And it's like, yeah, it's a Debbie Downer. Okay, holy crap. Freaking put out your album, man. Either you can sing better than him or you can't. Shut the hell up already. You can't sing better than him. Any of us would know that. Or you would have had an album out. The same thing with Fleetwood Mac, Van Halen, many of the other artists he's talked about. Come on, put up or shut up. If if you have the ability to critique someone, it means you can freaking do it better. Period. Now, next thing, the toxicity he has complained about many a times. He shut down his Twitter account because of all the toxicity. I forget, I think he shut down something else too. Oh, yes, turned off the comments on his YouTube channel. Yeah, if you look at some of his past videos where the comments are still there, oh yeah, you see a lot of people throwing each other under the bus big time. But wait a second, who created that platform? Who created the conversation to start? Oh, really? Spew-Rhea was spewing his diarrhea, pissed a bunch of people off, and started the ball rolling. And then all of a sudden I was like, oh no, people are raking me over right and left. Yeah, when you talk shit, you're going to get shit back. Pure and simple. When you create that and you complain about that, you've shot yourself in the foot. Pure and simple. Anybody with 2 cents of a brain can see that. Next thing, subscribers. Okay, yeah, so the guy's got, 22,000, 23,000 subscribers or something like that? I can usually, when I do look at any of his videos, which isn't anything regular, because most oftentimes his titles, the titles that he puts on his videos are enough for basically clickbait. That's about it. But, hey, if you want to subscribe to his channel, go right ahead. I'm not going to complain about it. Not going to try to stop anyone from doing it. It's your choice, your freedom. Go right ahead. He claims that he's amazed at what he has, but oh shoot, let's have some more. The next red flag for me. Come on. This guy wants your money. Oh, you can go donate to me over on Patreon. And when you do that, you can have direct contact with me. I will listen to you on Patreon. Yeah, pay the guy some money and then he'll let you talk to him. Nice guy. That's because you shut all your other things down because you got tired of what they had to say and you figure people aren't going to badmouth me if they're going to pay me. Then they won't badmouth me. I'm not on Patreon. I'm not giving him any money on Patreon. I think I'm doing just fine right here. Let's see what's next. Oh, yes, his ideal occupation is supposedly something to do with the music industry, producing. I can just see him being the judge on new music coming in. Especially since he's got his musical tastes. And yeah, he might sign you on if he sounds like Journey, or Foreigner, or Fleetwood Mac, or Van Halen, or, as long as you sound like them, you might get his attention. Being the real music observer that he claims that he is, I don't hear anything talked about, say, Justin Bieber, Katy Perry. I've heard him mention Ed Sheeran or something like that. He doesn't talk about them regularly at all. If you're going to observe real music in real time, it means you got to observe the whole ball of wax. No, all he's doing is observing the stuff that he digs. And that's fine, but that doesn't qualify you to be a real music observer. My next thing, let's just get straight on this one. Spew-Rhea claims to be a Christian. Don't even quite know what to say to that one. Based upon the content of a lot of his videos, and the way he says things, how he conducts himself, that's, his relationship with God is his business. I will give him that. However, what he projects outside to the rest of the world, and especially on YouTube, wouldn't bank on it. At least I don't. There is nothing he has ever said or has ever done that would ever entice me toward any religious practice whatsoever. Sorry. I know he puts his foot in his mouth on more than one occasion, violating some of the very beliefs that he claims to hold dear. So hey, let's just get straight to the point on that one too. I know he's slandered a lot of people. You know what slandering is? The utterance of false charges or misrepresentations which defame and damage another's reputation. He's badmouthed Steve Perry before he ever gave it a fair shot. He's badmouthed quite a few other people. Shot his fucking mouth off. And I'll give you an example of the slandering. He's violated the slandering, which is supposed to be a violation of the Christian beliefs. And if you don't care about this part, that's fine. I'm just going to throw it in for those that might. Out of God's book, the Bible, Proverbs 10:18. He who conceals hatred has lying lips, and he who spreads slander is a fool. Or Matthew 12:36. But I tell you that every careless word that people speak, they shall give an accounting for it the day of judgment. Next thing. Spew-Rhea is freaking long-winded. The guy can make a 5, 6, 7, 8, 10-minute video, whatever, and just babble on, seemingly going nowhere. What he could have said would have been done in 2 or 3 minutes. Okay, is that wrong? Well, what does his Christianity say about it? Let's go straight to the point there, too. Proverbs 10:19, when words are many, transgression is not lacking, but whoever restrains his lips is prudent. Proverbs 18:2, a fool takes no pleasure in understanding, but only expressing his opinion. Tell me he hasn't freaking done that a lot. Oh, Proverbs 21:23, whoever keeps his mouth and his tongue keeps himself out of trouble. Okay, he's pissed off everybody in the Steve Perry community and several other communities. Can't tell you all by name because I don't listen to a lot of the crap he listens to. 2 Timothy 2:16, but avoid irreverent babble, for it will lead people into more and more ungodliness. Okay, plain and simple. If you're going to speculate on what if they did this, what if they did that, oh, if it happened this way, or if it happened that way, there's actually people ignorant enough to hang on that every word and actually expect it and look for it. And you know what? There's a whole lot more examples I could list, but I think you guys get the idea. Now, let's get straight to the point on this one. David Spew-Rhea loves to babble, needlessly speculate, has slandered and defamed, has created toxic environments for which he has blamed others, and is just as guilty for doing himself, hence the bestowed name. Yeah, I call him Spew-Rhea, offshoot of Spew-Rhea. Diarrhea of the mouth. I'd say it fits his name, and it definitely fits his style. He's turned off his Twitter account and YouTube comments because of the toxicity, according to him. Problem is, he created that toxicity. He created that platform. He shut his mouth off, and other people reacted, plain and simple. When you say something, people are going to react, especially if they don't like it. Also including the example again of Steve Perry. I know he's not the only guy out there. I'm just using it for an example because I am a fan of Steve Perry too. But you know, Steve Perry, 69-year-old man, he can't cut it no more. He just doesn't have the voice anymore. Freaking wow, yeah, he doesn't. Anybody with 2 cents of a brain can tell that Steve Perry is not going to sound like he did when he was 30. Not going to sound like he did when he was 40 or 50 either. 70 years old. He's going to sound older, more mature. In my opinion, more polished. More set up. The guy knows what he wants to sing, knows how to get it there, knows how to record it there, puts out a masterpiece of an album. And, you know, hey, the guy knew what he was doing. And he also told us ahead of time what it was going to be. A cathartic, tearjerker album. Come on, been there, done that, people. A cathartic, tearjerker album. You would get some people out there like, he doesn't sound like he did when he was in Journey, rocking away. It wasn't intended to be a rocking album. I think the rockiest song on there was probably Sunshine's Gray. Nothing wrong with the song, by the way. There are others on that album I personally like a little bit better, but nothing wrong with it. When the song comes up, I still listen to it. But anyway, back to this whole thing for the toxicity. He created his own toxicity. He created the platform. He opened up his mouth, shut it off, and people reacted. Simple as that. He can dish out the crap by the truckload, but he's proven that he can't take it. And that evidence is straight out. Either he can't see it, or he's just so stupid doesn't want to see it. I don't know. My point with all this is basically this. If you want the news, get it straight from the source. Go to the horse's mouth and get it. Steve Perry's got his website. He's got Twitter. He's got Facebook. He's got YouTube. He's got a whole slew of places where his news gets posted by his people, if not he himself. Steve Perry, that is. You know, if you want news, go to Google and punch in Steve Perry. Probably once a day, once every other day, I do it myself. No, I'm not obsessed. I just enjoy his music, and I, like a lot of other people, look forward to the next thing that's coming out. When you read those articles for yourself, you're going to get it straight from the mouth as to what he says, what he intends to do, how he's going to do it, possibly, if he says that, and we'll know where he's going and coming. We don't need the watered-down version. All the speculation. Is he going to do this? Is he going to do that? Steve's going to tell you what he's going to do. People complained, is he going to tour or not? It's in his articles. We've talked about it. It's plain and simple. They've talked about it. Are they moving on it? We don't know. Maybe he is, maybe he isn't. He's talked about recording new music. What do we have coming out very, very soon? A new song, if not already. He's recording more music. He's talked about getting with people and doing duets. It's out there. He said it. We've already heard that. I don't need this guy to tell us that. Last but not least, come on. You're going to pay a babbling moron to give you your news when he's been proven to be wrong on many, many occasions? Doesn't make sense to me. Now, having said that, if you are a subscriber of the Real Music Observer and you enjoy that, by all means, keep going. Nothing against it. I myself can do it. I don't need to do it. I can go elsewhere to get my news. I often do. If you listen to a YouTuber called Gary Stuckey, he's way ahead of the game. I oftentimes get some news from him, and then I still go back to sources anyway. Gary's a nice, easygoing guy. Love his videos. And he's usually got several hours, if not even a day or two, quicker than David Spew-Rhea. He calls himself Harmless Dave. I think not. Anyway, that's what all this is. That's what all this is. You can choose to like him. You can choose to hate him. It's all, you make your own choice. That's the freedoms we have in this country. You make your own choice. Like him or hate him, pay him or don't. I don't need to pay him. I don't need to talk to him. He can see this video and decide what he wants to do. Complain about it or ignore it or roll with it. Who cares? Bottom line is, he's a babbling fool. He's proven himself many, many times. Okay. See you guys later. Have a good one.